We greatly appreciate it.
I heard that.
Let's see if we can change some things. Yes.
Oh shit.
We're back.
There we go.
It was the camera.
Stupid ass camera.
Yeah.
That camera gets no play in this ride ever again.
Come on now.
Yeah.
Come on now. All right. So, hey, check it out. We back at it like crack addicts, baby.
For the 15th time.
Yeah, sorry about that. We had some technical difficulties, but we back in the motherfucking building.
I drank my whole goddamn bottle of water.
Shit, man. I'm over here sweating like a motherfucking whore in church.
A whore in church.
Like, this shit really had me all fucked up. And I want to thank everybody for being patient and hanging in there. Those of you that did hang in there, although the engineer doesn't have the right to tell somebody they're homie of the show, he might be right. He might be right.
Damn, the shade.
That's not shade. Let me get this camera.
The shade.
We ain't perfect, y'all. We still getting it out the mud. We still gotta learn. We still learning. We learning on the fly.
Motherfucker, the focus on that bitch is drunk. Or is it just me? Yeah, damn. Woo.
Damn, like I said, we still focusing. We still learning.
Nah, he might be learning. I'm good. I'm Gucci. You know what I mean? Somebody touched something. That's what happened. I'm gonna blame that. Blame it on the rain. I'm waiting for
quality is not better than quantity.
Well, listen. As we were saying before we were rudely interrupted by technical difficulties.
It was rude. It was rude.
I was gonna say get it off your chest, but I don't know if we have time for that.
I mean, we could, and then if we got to stop, then we just stop.
Yeah.
But I'm also looking for our guest. I don't know where our guest is at. Seems as though, heading on now. That was at 8:50. So our guest is going to be popping up here real quick. Man, what an intro, huh?
There's a lot going on in hip hop.
I know how to. Oh, well, then give us some words on what's going on in hip hop.
I mean, I'm just saying, Pete Rock had a lot to say about feeling like they trying to erase Heavy D from hip hop.
How?
He feels like with the 50-year celebration, nobody mentioned him, even though a couple people have talked about him in the Angie Martinez's little series about
Biggie?
the albums. Yeah. Well, this season was about Biggie, but Heavy D got mentioned a bunch of times by a couple different people. So I think he was talking about maybe people that would be considered to be the powers that be.
Why you all up on the mic and we can hear?
My bad.
Yeah. All right.
I guess he feels like Heavy D is not getting props from the right people.
That was his whole cousin, so I feel his pain. You know what I'm saying? And they both were in the game.
Mount Vernon ain't getting no love either.
Years and shit. So I mean, I would say the same shit if that was my cousin.
Yeah.
And we came up in the game and been in the game for 30 plus years. You know, probably more than that. I think I'd be mad too.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I didn't disagree. I mean, I feel like the people that might be considered to be the powers that be probably should shed more light on him and show him some love, because the people who work with him closely and things of that nature say shit about him. But, I mean, you hear about LL and everybody else. Why not him?
Right. Well, I mean, hip hop is such a nowadays seems to be getting very fickle.
Yes.
With a lot of shit, motherfucker. And people, there are a lot of
that new
older
heads
shit are coming out of the woodwork and they're really starting to speak up on a lot of shit.
Yeah. But isn't it beautiful though also that there's so many old heads that are able to reinvent themselves and stay relevant without selling out, if you will?
Say again. I'm sorry. I'm responding to people because they're saying, "Oh, no audio," and I know damn well there's audio now because
come on, tune in. God damn it, we done fixed it now. We moving on with our lives, people. Catch up.
Yeah, shout out to Sod Cuddle. Shout out to Sod for watching. You know what I'm saying? We had some technical difficulties there earlier, man. So
we sometimes
we came out to a rough ass start.
We did. I mean,
that's all right. Rough. Like the first 20 minutes,
22 minutes. Goddamn it! That's all right.
I have no idea what
players fuck up
all the time.
Come on now.
And then also, Jay-Z has an exhibit in the Brooklyn Museum. Man, I'm sorry, the Brooklyn Library.
I'm tired of talking about Jay-Z. I'm tired of people talking about Jay-Z. The reason is Jay-Z got too much money, and yeah. I mean, Come on now. If you're worth $1 billion, who gives a fuck if you're in a museum except for the
shit.
uppity motherfucker? Because he don't give a fuck about the culture.
He
kind of does and he kind of don't. I don't know. I'm not in Jay-Z's shoes, so I don't know.
I would never
Shout
say
out
he
to
don't
Ace
give a
Vito.
fuck about the culture.
Shout out to Side Cuddle.
Some of the
Shout out to
minute
Miss
shit.
Griffin. Yeah, for people that that actually, we had a real rough start here. You know what I'm saying? But you know what I'm saying? We don't stop just for nothing.
Okay, so well,
I'm
a Hove fan, goddammit, and congratulations and shout out to Hove. And I'm very sad that I can't
didn't
see
say I
that
wasn't
shit.
a fan of Hove. I'm just saying.
Don't come over here with that negative shit.
Getting low key tired of people talking about.
Don't
Jay-Z
piss on my parade
because
I will curse your ass out.
He's got enough money to buy his happiness. So,
I won't.
You know what I'm saying? He doesn't need.
We'll have a cute
Facts.
argument about beats by the pound, but you'll get fucked up about Hove.
What are you
So
talking about?
I just want to let you know.
I don't even want.
I just want to tell you where the line in the sand is drawn.
All right, that's cool. But we got a guest on the show tonight.
But I want to make sure you understand what I'm saying.
I don't understand.
So I'm drawing the line in the sand.
For what?
Don't even come up to the water bottle because that's too close to you violating that line in the sand.
What line?
Just in case you didn't understand.
I didn't even hear you.
Hove is the line in the sand.
Oh.
You crossed that line.
We're good.
I'm gonna fuck you up.
We're good. And why are you always fucking threatening my life?
Because I need you to understand what I'm saying.
And secondly, why in the fuck do you think you can whoop my ass?
There's only certain things that I really give a fuck about.
Anyways, we have a whole show to do.
But you just verbally confirm that you understand?
I'm not confirming anything. I feel like I'm getting written up for something. And I'm gonna tell you like I've told people at work. I ain't signing that shit.
Because that's our safe word.
I ain't signing that shit.
Okay,
don't walk out the office. You're lucky that I ain't in an office.
Don't
right
fuck
now.
around. Okay.
I would literally not sign.
Because I will Angela Bassett all of this shit up in here. Okay.
I don't even know what the fuck that means.
And I will
we
smoke
have
a square.
Guest waiting to come in.
I'm sorry. Yes, my bad.
See, this is the type of shit. This is why I'm gonna put a call out.
Maybe we should tell the guests not to fuck around either.
Shout out Side. Yeah, he said I used to like. He's talking about himself.
Who the hell is Miss Griffin? Are you related to me? Let me know in the comments.
No, we don't need you doing a family reunion on the show. We have, like I said tonight, we have a producer's edition tonight. So we're gonna bring him in right now. We had too many. I hope to God, because we did a listen.
Just don't fucking say it out loud.
No, I'm gonna
just
say
do
it because we did a whole test and everything beforehand.
No, just do it.
And I'm telling you, I am
don't
going
put that
to
out
lose
there.
my shit.
Don't do it.
If the shit doesn't work.
Don't do it.
All right. Well, listen, the guy
that is in fact my cousin.
Okay. Shout out to your cousin. So here's the thing. This guy, I had to look him up. Because we interviewed Chris Crack, man. I love that dude. Chris Crack is a cold motherfucker to me.
Yes, he is.
And there's one particular song that really caught my fucking ear, and that was the song called "Therapy Doesn't Work, Do Drugs." Now, that fucking beat, as a producer myself, had me low key mesmerized.
Okay.
Like the beauty of the sample, how it was chopped, how it was looped.
Please tell me you have that queued up.
No, I don't have it queued up, and
God
I'm not going to
damn
play it for you because I need him to explain this shit to me. I need to pick his brain and talk about the thought process for that beat, and not to mention I also listened to his catalog. So I had to reach out to him. Like my producer mind would not let me sleep until I reached out to him, and he was kind enough to reach back.
I really like that song as well.
We had a conversation, and I invited him to be on the show, and without further ado.
That might be one of the first ones that we listened to.
I ain't gonna say his government name.
You should work on getting that queued up though, so the people can hear it.
No, I don't want the people to hear it. If they want to hear it, they're gonna find out.
What kind of shit is that?
This man, come on, man. I'm trying. Can you let me do my job here?
All right, whatever.
Damn. They can find out the information in a second because we're gonna get into all that shit. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna get into all that. And maybe next time, because I'm pretty sure we're gonna have him on again. Because I after talking to him, I really enjoyed having the little conversation that we did have. So without further ado,
I ain't like your tone.
I see what you're trying to do. And without further ado, we got DBLA, aka Double. I ain't gonna say his government in the motherfucking building.
Hello.
You see how that man got the merch set up in the back? He ready to go.
Thank you guys. I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you, man.
Hey, no problem, brother, man. It is a pleasure and an honor to have you on the show, man. For real.
Yes, sir.
And before we get started, before we start picking your brain and all that shit, please tell these people who you are, where you're from, and what you do, sir.
Yes, sir. like you said, I appreciate that introduction. That was pretty on point. But I go by Double A. I'm originally from New York. Shout out to New York, Long Island, Queens, as we were talking about. But right now I'm residing in Houston, so I'm just kind of like all over the place. And I'm a producer, man. I just try to bring the vibes, I just try to bring the good feelings and, try to paint like a canvas that, an artist can go complete a whole work off of. So I'm just kind of like a tastemaker, I just love making music and I'm a fan too. So that's what I am. Yeah.
I think that's one of the most important things when you're a producer, to also be a fucking fan.
Absolutely.
Because like I said, when I listen to a lot of Chris Crack shit, and I love the music, period. But I don't know what kind of voodoo witchcraft you put on that beat, that particular beat on the song Therapy Doesn't Work, Do Drugs. First, before we get into that, because I got a million questions on that alone. How did you and Chris, well, first of all, how long have you been making music?
Shit, I feel like, I've been like really, really like tapping in with it probably the last like 10 years or so, like really taking it seriously. But I've been going way back as far as like high school, like singing in the choir, trying to pick up instruments, just having an interest on like what produced sounds, you know what I mean? Seeing like, a certain whatever and being like, seeing something on the cover of a dope album, being like, damn, like that's like the whole thing, that like the whole foundation for the sound and stuff. So I started in high school, I was picking up, just messing around with GarageBand, just trying to explore that passion,
Yeah.
So I would say like, high school, just getting ready to go into college, really just like being obsessed with it, all the classic stuff. And then I would say like, 10 years ago when I moved to Houston, for whatever reason, it's like the move kind of catapulted me to the next level. And I just started making mad shit when I moved here. And, I don't know if it was a change of scenery, but like, just kind of kicked me into gear for whatever reason. And
Right.
I just took that hobby and I just kind of went with it. You know what I mean?
Before, before Chris Crack, had you had any type of placements or anything before that?
Nothing official. I was just kind of grinding, just like
Right.
being my own artist, like releasing beats and, no like official placements. Although I'm working with this really dope artist in Seattle. His name's Outlaw One. And I just got a record actually of his like a month before I did Growthfully Developed. So it was kind of like, I feel like he's going to blow up at some point, and then I'm going to look back on that. In my eyes, he's already like just dope as fuck. But once other people see it, I feel like that's going to be like a classic placement too. So yeah, I would consider like that one. And then really just, then the Chris stuff.
How did you and Chris link up?
So, I mean, honestly, like I just started as a fan, you know what I mean? Like I just love the music, and I think that's like the number one thing is I've just like stumbled upon his stuff, and just got like addicted to it like everybody else,
Right.
I was just like, had his stuff on repeat, and I would tweet him here and there, just like, yo, is this dropping on vinyl? Like here and there, et cetera, et cetera. And then one day, I think I even dropped like a beat on one of his threads, like a beat video I'd made of a bunch of joints playing. And like a week later, I get a text in the morning, not a text, like a DM in the morning on Twitter. And it's like, yo, your shit's hot. Like, send me some shit. And like from there, like that's kind of how it happened. So
That's what's up.
Yeah, it was cool because I was just like, damn, like, you never think these people are going to respond, it's like, someone like Chris, he's kind of on like a different level, he's just like always moving and like, even if it's like not a matter of like, if you're fire or not, like he just may miss it because he's so busy and stuff. So, I was just kind of blessed to catch his ear, catch his eye, whatever. And he hit me up, and it was funny. Like in the beginning, it's like mad formal over email and stuff. Like we don't know each other yet, which is fine because like there's plenty of that just straight business. Like I send you joints. Like there's plenty of huge artists in the world that don't even know like the producers of some of their beats. You know what I mean? So it's kind of wild. But anyway, so I was like, yo, how many joints should I send you? Because I got a lot.
Did he say all of them?
Yeah. He was like, honestly, he didn't though. That's why it threw me for a loop because he was like, send me like 5 to start, whatever, you know, so it's not overwhelming. So I sent him like 2 of the joints that I like had like tweeted to him that I think got him to respond, and then like 2 or 3 others. So send him those, and I was just like, let's see what happens. You know, you're kind of like floating on that, you know,
Right.
that high, you know, like holy shit, like what's gonna happen. And then really nothing happened. So that was kind of like the funny thing for a while.
Right. And then all of a sudden, bada boom, bada
Yeah.
bing. And then that guy's
Exactly.
a fucking workhorse, man. I think he had said he had something like 1,800 songs on iTunes, which is
He's a beast.
yeah.
He's a beast. And what's crazy, he probably has like 3 or 4 times that on his hard drive, you know, that we've never heard. That's nuts, you know.
Like after doing the show with him, you know, I had messaged him afterwards, and I was like, man, I just realized that we know a lot of the same fucking people, and you know, not that often that you get somebody that's on the up and coming, or I don't know if you want to call Chris up and coming or anything like that, but he's really a solid ass MC, and his music is great, and a lot of times they're pretty arrogant, they're pretty this, but this guy is so open and so honest about shit. You know, and we started chopping it up, and I was like, I consider the motherfucker my friend at this point. You know what I'm saying? And and I thought to myself that this would be great. You know what I'm saying? Because to interview you to see how your relationship was with him, and I had asked you, have you actually met him? You're like, yeah, man, cool dude. You know, so and one of the things that we noticed right out the gate about him is that he is a true creator, and nothing I love as a creator myself, nothing I love more than a true creative person.
Yeah.
And this guy's mad crazy. By the way, because he totally gets it. And I want to tell you how much he gets it, because I asked him to do me a favor. And there he is.
Hey,
oh my God. I got you, sucker.
Wow, this is the best fucking podcast ever. What's up, bro?
What's cracking? Juice Willis.
Juice Willis, man.
Hey, Chris, I got a bone to pick with you, bro.
My guy.
My motherfucking co-host, the illustrious Nashvino, he stumbled upon a brand new mixtape that had a whole bunch of references to some things that happened on the podcast.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
What's my cut looking like? I said, what's my cut looking like?
Feels like you marinated this in us.
That mixtape, but it's all good, man. It's all love, man. But I thought it would be dope to have you on the show and chime in with your boy right quick. By the way, real quick, Chris, you having all these damn names and all this shit, you have really sparked me to be like, I think I need to change up.
About 17 different aliases. Cool.
I need to change up and be like Meat Detector.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Meat Detector.
Yeah, that's good.
Hold on.
Not even pause. Just fucking stop.
Female meat.
Hold on.
Just stop.
Female meat, nigga.
No.
Hold on. All right. Well, whatever. I just thought I'd throw that
you
out
should have
there.
said click detector.
Hey, but click detector. But one thing else I want to say, boy, I haven't heard the laugh, man. If I hear somebody give me a joke about the finest of titty milks one more time,
now it's about the titty meat.
Yeah, the titty meat. But I hear this all the time from people that watch the podcast that I know that has seen it, Chris. I hear so many jokes about the titty milks.
Oh, man.
Hey, DBL, did you happen to watch? I asked you to watch. Did you happen to watch that podcast?
I didn't catch it in time, but it's on my docket for this weekend.
Yeah, you got to peep that out.
I can't wait. Yeah, I can't wait.
Give us your opinion of this guy, Chris.
Who, Double A?
Yeah.
Oh, that's my man. See, he's a good dude, man. I met him in New York, man. He came down, man. He was staying like 2 hours away, man. He came all the way down there and shit. Man, just a good ass dude, man. And he cool as fuck. We be hollering back and forth in the and the messages and shit, and we be getting beats going crazy. Like,
Crazy.
dude got some shit, man.
Yeah, I
Dude
know.
got-
I peeped the shit out, and I was thoroughly impressed. And you know what? In all honesty, and then we are low key talking about you like you ain't here. So just sit back,
Yeah.
sit back, and enjoy and take it all in.
Just
You
let
know,
it happen.
Waller in that shit like a pig. You know what I'm saying? Just lay around in that muddy goodness right now. But I, as a producer, I listen to his shit and I'm like, man, this dude cold as fuck. Now the coldest part about it, after hearing you say your feelings about him, I had like a 10-minute conversation with him before the show, just for the technical shit, and I felt the same vibe. I was like, man, this dude cool as shit, man. I'm gonna have to chop it up with this motherfucker, man.
Thank you, bro.
Right. Yeah, all right.
Same with you.
Oh, right on, man. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's a cool dude, huh? Have you paid him
Yeah,
yet?
hell yeah,
You paid him yet?
100, dude, though.
Have you paid him yet, bro?
Huh?
What?
Yeah, man, ask him. He's right here, man. Ask him, do he get paid royalties for everything?
Yeah, fuck yeah.
No, I'm just saying, man, because I'm trying to get like him. I'm trying
Everybody,
to get him.
Yeah.
Everybody got to get their credit and they payment. You feel
Yeah,
me?
of course, man. I'm just fucking with you. Now
Yes, sir.
I want to ask you, Chris, like when you heard the beat that you did, Therapy Doesn't Work, Do Drugs. What was your thought process when you heard that track? Because I know what I was thinking when I heard it. With you on it, like the marriage of that shit is fucking incredible. By the way,
Man, I was literally doing exactly what I said in it when I heard that shit. I at the same shit that I said I was doing. That's what I was doing when I heard.
wow,
That's insane, man.
that's saying a lot. That's saying a lot, Double A. When the music is so motherfucking good that it puts you right in that goddamn moment,
Right in the mix.
and you know what I'm saying, as an artist, because I used to handle the mic back in the day, you know what I'm saying? But for music to move you, for you to be like that in that moment and be able to write or do do your thing to that says a lot. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That's
And so we know what his thought process was. Now let's get to the nitty gritty. What was your thought process in making that? And by the way, where in the fuck did that sample come from?
Okay, so I'll start with that. Never catch me snitching out here, that's for sure.
Right.
No, I'm just playing.
I was waiting for it. I was waiting.
Yeah. That's an easy one. Everybody walks in. It's
Right.
a good one. That might be on Cuddy's shirt right now, right? Are you wearing the sample snitching shirt, Chris?
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
There you go.
Man.
I saw it before. There you go.
You feel
No,
me?
Hey, I need one of them shirts.
Oh man, that's so classic.
Yeah. You see, he sent us these Tynancy ass shirts.
What the fuck?
Tynancy, super small, overly small.
But that's the size you said.
For me, nigga. I'm saying like you.
Oh, I knew I wasn't expected to squeeze
I'm
in that
saying,
shit. I don't know. That was that supposed to be? Was that supposed to be a bra?
Hey.
Goddammit, I don't know.
Bro, she can put that shirt on one titty.
One titty.
I'm just saying.
The other one just gonna have to pray. I don't know.
Hey, shit. It's hard out here.
Shit.
How you doing anyway, though?
I'm fabulous. Feeling very photogenic. I was delicious earlier. I'm not right now.
Oh, nah.
Nah.
I stay delicious, goddamn it. I don't know.
Stay delicious so you ain't gotta get delicious.
Thank you. You know what I'm talking about? Listen, man, you already fucking the vibe up. You know we got a whole producer here, trying to
no worries.
actually give some info about.
Did he not ask me how I was doing?
You're right.
Yeah, no, I asked and I actually cared how you were doing too.
See what I'm saying? He
Trying to get in
cares.
your panties. Anyways,
See you on see.
he did say something about bigger women the last show. But listen,
I prayed on this.
We got to remember that we have a guest. Chris is not the guest. He just popped in.
We don't want him
this
to
is a
think.
surprise.
I'm staying in my lane. I'm here. I'm here. I'm at this.
Damn it.
I'm sorry.
So about the song, man. How did that beat come about?
Yeah, I think it was just like honestly like one of the like thousands of beats I got on my shit. And I think, you know, like every day I'm in the lab, like the way that Chris is like recording, like, you know, 3, 4, 5, 6, however many songs it is. That's how many beats I make a day. So like, I think it was just, you know, I was on at the time, like looking back on it, like I was on like, you know, my R&B shit. I made it like in the summer of 2021. So I was on my summer shit. And, you know, like as I do with everything, like I just make it how I feel, you know what I mean? So sometimes I'll add drums, sometimes I won't. And that one, I just like heard it, found this part in the record, flipped out. I was like, wow, this is fucking crazy. And just started like looping and chopping it. And it's actually like a couple of sections like in the record. It's like a couple minutes apart actually that make up the full thing. So it's like, even when I had to go back a couple times just to like kind of like flip myself out because I hadn't heard it in a while. And I found the session and I was like, damn, it's a lot more crazy than I remember. So I'll probably do like a behind the beat of it one day. Just
yeah, you need to do that.
For the people.
I need to put that out on vinyl for real. That shit's high on my playlist right now. And trust me, I've been dissecting the fuck out of it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, bro, that's an honor. Yeah, you know, I like the beat enough to send it to Chris. I can't remember how many beats I've sent him. I mean, probably thousands, honestly. So, I felt good enough that I was like, I felt like it could be something that he would like. So yeah, or maybe not like, but knew it's like reverse psychology. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know because he's fucking with my head. I sent him like 400 beats, and he told me to go fuck myself. But that's just how it works. It's part of the game, I guess. You know what I'm saying? I guess 400 more.
But there's the thing. If you get that one is the one.
Here I am. I'm thinking I'm pretty dope. And first of all, it took him 3.5 weeks to even get back at me. But I could see that he was seeing my message. I was like, please, sir. Please, sir.
Yo, hey, Double A, tell him how many beats you got to send before I even pick one.
I mean, I had to send like hundreds, maybe. You know, so you're on the same path, bro. You're on the same path.
No,
but what I was meant to say before,
I thought I sucked.
Before I forget this is important too for people who are trying to come up. When he asked me to send beats, I sat on that a little bit, and I was like, I sent really good ones, like 5 or 6 crazy ones, and you know, I was just like, yeah, these are gonna come out, whatever. Relationship yet, and that doesn't always matter, but I was like, you know, after a couple months, I was like, all right, like, you know, I want to get one for sure. It's like a matter of time. And I think I followed back up, and you were just in the cut. You're busy. So I just started flooding your shit, and that was it. You know, once you hit one, we've just been kind of locked in since then.
Wow. Any under the table hand jobs you had to do for that? Because I know how I'm just saying.
Just stay greased in the lab.
We had a great show with him, and there was some underlying issues going on there. I just wanted to make sure you're okay. I'm checking out to make sure you're okay. You know what I'm saying? We can throw, if you need help or need me to call 911 or something.
Dark, real quick.
No, yeah. No, listen, I think the marriage of you two in music is fucking it's brilliant. It's brilliant. From what I've heard, it's truly brilliant. And
my man.
I think that people that, because like low key, I stumbled upon Chris. Now him and I know a lot of the same people. I know a lot of the same people personally that he knows, that he's done a lot of work with. But I hadn't, I mean, you know, I'm not from Chicago, but I've been here 17 years. I hadn't heard of him. You know what I'm saying? And one of my guys in Colorado hit me up and was like, yo, you got to get Chris Crack on the show. And all of a sudden it becomes this avalanche of people that start hitting me up saying, you need to get Chris Crack on the show. And I'm like, Chris who? Man, fuck that guy. I ain't doing shit.
You tuned into the right frequency.
I legit looked him up, started listening to his shit, and I was like, damn, this nigga cold. So I hit him up, and then he hit me with the you know, the old okey doke. You know what I'm saying? Talk to my man. And I was like, what? I said, you know, this I'll read I said, I'll be goddamn motherfucker. I ain't talking to no motherfucking manager, nigga. You talk to me. And you know what I'm saying? He said he apologized and shit, and we worked it out. You know what I'm saying? We went to the Nation of Islam, sat down with Farrakhan and fixed it.
Wow. I'm glad it worked out.
It worked out. You know what I'm saying? But no, shout out to Chris for real, because he I don't know what he was expecting when he first got on the show, because he was low key hiding his face and shit, didn't want to be seen. He was like, you know, I don't know about these motherfuckers. But he warmed up, and it was a great show. And you know what I'm saying, I clicked. I felt like we clicked. You know, he's my best friend. I don't know if he knows it. I stalked him. He's my best friend.
Y'all got some good energy. You know.
Yeah, his energy was absolutely great. You know what I'm saying? You can always tell when you're dealing with a true creator. You know what I'm saying? The person that's a true creative person, that it's always a fucking pleasure. And he's been nothing but a fucking dope ass individual since then. You know what I'm saying? When I reached out to him, straight up, I was like, hey, listen, I would like for you to pop in on this dude and surprise his ass. You know what I'm saying? He's like, for sure. He's like, let's make it happen. And thank you again, Chris. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. Hey, I'm gonna get up out this gym because I gotta go, you know, slide to the other side.
Yeah, no, I already know what you go get that titty milks.
Yeah, I need some titty milk and cookies, bro. You know what it is. Hey, Double A, bro. I'm gonna fuck with you in a minute, bro.
Peace, bro. I'll talk to you.
Thank you again so much, man.
Appreciate
y'all.
Be safe. Bye.
Peace. Word. So, yeah, that
was awesome, man.
How you feel about that
Thank
one? I thought I'd throw you off with that one a little bit. Throw a little.
No, that was awesome. Yeah, that was cool too, because that was like kind of a good segue, because like, you know, after we were like sending beats, even when Therapy dropped, like that album, you know, we became really good friends, like not too long after. So now I think, like, you know, like we already had that kind of organic connection just without knowing each other. Just we like the same sounding music. We like same sounding rap, say you know, R&B. Like we just like the same jokes and shit. It just, you know what I mean? So I think that like kind of informs the music. And now that we're like kind of, you know, we're cool, it's like now it's like we're really fucking shit up. So
yeah, that's dope, man.
That's what's up.
And he's got the kind of personality that it's hard not to like him. You have to be kind of like really on some fucked up shit not to like the guy.
No joke, yeah.
And you can feel that genuine energy from him.
Yeah, he's like super fluid, like
yeah. So with working with him, has that changed your style in any way? Because sometimes when you start melding in with and really keyed in with a rapper, like, you know what I'm saying, like you, at least in my own experience, like when you're really keyed in with someone like that, you don't necessarily change your style or something, but there's a thing that kind of switches off in your head. Like you have an idea, and before you even show him the idea, he's telling you about something, and the shit just automatically just meshes.
Yeah. I mean, I'm really happy you asked me that. It's like the best question ever. The answer is yes, and he's like totally changed me as an artist. Like, because I'm a producer first. That's like my main hat, but like I consider myself a full-on standalone artist, creative, and he's informed. Like he's made me better just by like us working together, no question. You know, my sound selection, and even nothing to do with him. Just like he's sharpened my skills by having conversations and just like picking beats, and just it's like a rubbing off type thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
So, like, he's made me kind of he's helped me find my voice in my shit. Right. So, you know, and again, this is like nothing he's actually done instructionally, nothing like that.
Right. No, I get it. Yeah.
And when you say he's helped you find your voice from a procedural standpoint, when you're about to create, do you have an idea in mind, or is it just, I'm just going to sit here until some shit just hits me in the back of the head?
Both. And I think mostly it's the second part. Like, I'm just going to like look for shit. You know what I mean? Look for inspiration. I like that. But it's always fun when it hits you and you're like, oh, I'm going to do A, B, and C. I don't know if they'll work out, but I'm going to try that. You know what I mean? That's that's a good feeling.
Yeah, totally is a good feeling. Yeah. So I mean, like, first, because I wanted to ask you, what is your weapon of choice?
Yeah, I mean, right now in the last couple of years, I've just been an Ableton, a turntable, and like, you know, a MIDI keyboard and a MIDI. It's like an MPD, so it's kind of like you know, it's like one of these joints.
Oh, I'm glad you show that because MPD. I'm sure that I'm sure that my co-host was thinking medically processed dick. So I'm glad you showed her that.
No, I wanted to clarify exactly.
Fuck.
But
what? What are you talking about? MP said MPD, and I know
medically processed. What the fuck? We'll unpack that later. We're not
gonna unpack anything. I just want to
like you trying to unpack some shit over there.
No. Come on, we got to focus here. We have
medically processing dicks and all kinds of shit.
Yes, we have a whole guest over here. We got to stay focused.
Gross.
Focus. Okay.
Yeah.
This is what happens when you hire help. You know what I mean? This is what happens. No, but seriously. So Ableton, and what were you working with before that?
So I was working with I was more on like analog stuff. Like I had an MPC 500, like the little box with 12 pads. Right. So you think of the MPC, you think of 16, but this one had 12 pads, and basically like very limited functionality. You didn't have a screen like to chop. You didn't see like the waveform. It was like done in decibels. Numbers. So like if you want to chop the sample, you had to go to like 0.200. It was crazy, but like it's fun. I love that. I feel like that's how I like really like sharpen my shit, because it was such a limited machine and so satisfying to make some shit on that.
Right. Putting your hands on something tangibly has always been like a thing for me. Like I cutting and pasting doesn't really tickle my fancy too much. I feel like it's very handy when making music. I think like having something like the machine where it's the computer's integrated, but you're also really able to put your hands on it. I like prefer that over anything, and I'm not knocking anybody that prefers cutting and pasting, Fruity Loops, or FL Studios or whatever, Ableton, all of those other softwares that are out there that you can do this stuff. But I just personally prefer the old school, get those goddamn pads. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I'm like you, get it how you live. Whatever. But if it's rocks and sticks that make the ill shit, fuck it.
Yeah, exactly.
But for me, I come from I'm a '90s kid, so I'm just that's how I studied, and I need to. Especially if I'm doing drum stuff, I need to hit these pads. I got to feel
right.
That.
Yeah. That feeling. I'm not a drummer per se, but I love I feel like I'm fucking in Def Leppard or some shit when I'm doing this shit sometimes. I feel like I'm really drumming my ass off.
You have your own swing that nobody else can replicate. So there is something to that.
And technically you are when you think about it.
Yes, sir.
Listen, we're not going to get this conversation started on me. I keep telling you that we have a guest on the show.
You just really
I love it.
Sid Vicious says the setup is gorgeous, bro. Appreciate you. You know who that
Thanks
is.
for noticing.
It's really sweet. Yeah, it's really sick, bro.
Thank you so much, man. We've been grinding over here. We're trying to get like y'all, man, so we can have merch in the back, all kinds of shit. We need everything. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, I feel that.
And having great people like you on our show is a step in that direction. Can you ask me a question real quick while I grab a cigar? I'm over here dying.
Who influenced you growing up?
So good. I would say, like just from like a rap standpoint, like all the big people, like really what's funny is like I grew up loving the West Coast stuff so much because it was just so hot, Dre and like, Pac and stuff. But really, as I started getting older, it was like, Kanye and like, Dilla, Madlib.
So just soulful. You just into the soul. Yeah. Okay.
That's what really like took me like out. You know what I mean? And I was just like, oh my God, like I've heard this record before. My grandma's are out but beat on it, and that kind of just threw me out of here. But I grew up really like before I was really into that. It was really like, Nas and Mobb Deep and like, all the crazy New York stuff. That's what really got me into it. And then the nerdy stuff, like the soulful stuff. Yeah.
Is sampling your preferred method of production?
Yeah, 100%. You know, just because I love the feeling of like hearing something either that's like popular and you just hear it differently and want to do something differently with it, or just like you never heard it before. You know, that's like the best feeling of all time. Like any producer, if you've caught like a loop or something that like you're pretty sure is rare, or you just never heard it. So as a fan, you know it's rare enough. It's the best feeling. But yeah, I love the feeling of taking something that's like kind of forgotten and just giving it new life. You know what I mean? And but paying enough homage to being like, this is so special on its own. You know?
Is there an artist that you prefer to sample, or just maybe somebody that you just kind of look to?
Yeah, I mean, I would say like more era wise, you know, like 70s, you know, like jazz, 70s soul, 60s. Like I love like old 45 records. You know, like the Stylistics and the Spinner, the Shy Lights. I mean, I could like bury myself in a fucking basement of old 45s. That's like kind of my favorite era.
Hurry Up This Way Again is one of my favorite fucking songs.
Oh, it would, imagine that song came out today. It would probably be like the best song out.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Hands down.
It's just so classic.
I was gonna say, when you were talking about sampling and the best feeling of like kind of re-energizing an old sample or old song or something like that. I think a lot of people look at a producer that samples and they don't understand that it is a fucking craft. It's not just taking something and then looping it and putting some drums over the top of it. Now, it used to be that simple. It used to be back in the day. You find a nice loop, you throw some drums, some scratches over the top of it, you're done.
Yeah.
But nowadays it has become so intricate. So like, for those that don't know, I'm just saying, because I'm going to pose this as a question to you. For those that don't know, because when you say you're giving something life again, I don't think people understand what you actually mean by that. Maybe they might think, oh, so he's looping the shit, throwing some drums on it, somebody's rapping to it. No.
Mm-mm.
What does that mean to you when you say you're giving new life to something when you sample it?
Good question.
Yeah, it is a good question. You know, I would say you're just basically, you're taking the foundation of something and you're recreating it to have a new art form, you know? So in this case, you know, you're taking like, you know, you could be taking like a barbershop quartet and turning that beat into something that's like going to become like a really sick hip hop joint, you know, that Chris is going to rap over or something. So
Right.
it's almost like in a side move, you know what I mean? So it's like, you know, really keeping what it is. But here's the thing that really separates everything is that idea that became what it was, like the rap song or the final produced song, that didn't exist before that producer or that person made that decision to do that. Right. And I think people kind of, as you're alluding to, is people lose sight is musically, just in music in general. Music is music production is a series of decisions, whether, you know, it's additions or subtractions. It's as simple as that. Make up some of the greatest records of all time. Right. You know, some of the Thriller records are like, you know, 2 or 3 instruments. You know what I mean? So in a lot of sense, you know, it's just really how you hear something that someone else isn't going to hear. You know what I mean? So people can kind of shit on that, but yet they would never be able to hear a certain loop in this part of the song and take, you know, another part of the loop from 2 minutes later in the song, turn that into whatever. You know, that's
that matter.
It's like
a piece from this song, a piece from a record that has absolutely nothing to do with it. Like, for instance, a barbershop quartet with some fucking jazz and some 70s R&B, and all of a sudden these different sounds are meshed in together, and it's something completely different. I would even go as far as to say that sampling and how far it's come has literally reinvented the wheel, and to a degree, because I don't think people really understand the intricacies that goes into that. And I think some people may get it and understand it, those that are in hip hop, but there are a lot of people in hip hop that don't get it, and they think that they can just go buy a piece of equipment and overnight they're just going to be like, voila, here's this beautiful fucking shit that I just put together. And that's not how it works. Would you agree?
100%. I mean, you see that like a dude actually who's from Houston. He's a pretty famous producer now, Apex Martin. Shout out to him. He's signed with Mike Dean. He tweeted once and it stuck in my head. He's like, everybody wants to be a producer now. And it made me laugh because it's like you have the access to it. You know, anybody can go buy the software, whatever you want to do. But that's like half the battle. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, you know, if you don't have like, if you don't really know what's dope, like if you don't have that, you can't teach it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
you can't teach the ear. Ear. You
Can't do it.
teach the ear.
No.
And you know, that's saying a lot about being creative. Now, Sid Vicious in the comments says, y'all thoughts on Gen Z style of sampling? For example, the joints you hear on TikTok where they speed up songs from the 2000s.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I think that's a matter of perspective. If you look at it from a positive note, you think about the kids. It's kind of keeping that old music alive because my kids are pretty young. They hear those songs and they're going back looking for, you know, the original songs. But I mean, I don't know, because you don't want to be negative, but it's like, I mean, shit, in a way, it's keeping the art form alive. Shit, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not mad at it. I mean, I'm laughing because, like, you know, that's a really good question, by the way, because I think about that as well.
Shout out Sid Vicious for the question.
Respect the creativity.
Yeah, I mean, like, you know, it's something like Ice Spice. You know, she'll like flip a 90s record or like an early 2000s record that's like super ill to us. And, you know, with the drill joint and the crazy different kind of drums like that. And I'm not mad at it because it's different, you know? It's not like it's been done before. So like if it's when it gets played out, it's gonna be kind of whack. But like I feel some of it going on right now, like some of the stuff that like what's her name is doing, Koi, and you know, some of that stuff's like it's like annoying, but like it's good.
Yeah, I agree.
I guess it's a fresh take on it.
Yeah,
exactly. I like the sampling, so that's you know, yeah.
I think one of the parts of it is like even if we look back even further, when hip hop was like in its evolutionary stages, which it still is.
True.
That the older heads, when the younger heads came in and start really doing the sampling and really start fucking doing all kinds of shit. And then shout out to the Beastie Boys I was just talking to somebody the other day about Paul's Boutique and how that album changed the game as far as sampling is concerned.
Crazy.
But you know, all the old heads are like, all they're doing is just, you know what I'm saying? Because they would have live bands come in and actually replay old joints, though. They didn't realize that they were sampling, but they were actually sampling, you know, just having somebody come in and play those same notes again. But I think sampling has evolved into like a complete and totally different art form within itself, because as a producer, just like I was telling you, hearing your joints, and I'm going, holy shit, because some of those joints I've actually sampled before and done, and I'm like, what the fuck, you know? And I love when I can catch a producer that does that to me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Do you think that when you first heard Dilla, what was your reaction to that shit?
Oh shit.
You know, I mean, not to sound cliche, but I literally, it was like, it was a reset for me. It was like, you know, what's that?
So you see the poster.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Bingo. And I, you know, I was already deep into music, but I feel like I caught Dilla a little bit later on, you know, a little bit. Yeah, a little bit later on, you know, speaking. And then really when I heard, you know, the first couple of things I heard was like Welcome to Detroit and Rough Draft. It was like the first two things I heard. And then I heard Donuts.
Yeah, Donuts is just fucking mind blowing.
It's like a palette. It's like a palette reset.
Yeah,
100%.
Like, who is this? Yeah, like who is? What is this?
The crazy thing that people don't know is that Dilla
was on a joint too. I was like, wow.
He actually produced a lot of joints that people had no idea that he fucking did.
It's influenced the fuck out of so many people.
Game changer. 100% game changer.
Speaking of that, and I don't want to go on a tangent and derail you guys, but I got to speak on that.
No. Speak. Hey, this is an open forum. Speak, because you know what? Seriously, maybe you say something that sparks the next greatest.
Sure. I just speaking about how like he was so influential. Like I was listening to D'Angelo recently, Voodoo, and
Oh, that's Dilla. Dilla did that whole shit.
He did that album, and I know, you know, it's pretty much on record that, you know, Questlove is like, yo, I just got the whole inspiration from him, and they all did, and they were all just like, you know, I want the drums to swing like crazy like this, and it's like, I appreciate those records so much because they sound so good, so nicely recorded, and like he has that swing, and he just pays such homage, and like I think like our, you know, the people that really care about this stuff know his influences. He like almost did that album in a sense just based on his style, which is God, that is so impressive. It's almost more impressive than touching the pads and making a beat.
Yeah.
It is 100% is. I had the fucking honor and fucking like I know this artist here in Chicago named Ange 13. Shout out to Ange 13, man. She's like a Chicago legend. Five Dog had invited her when he did the tribute song to Dilla, and he invited her to the video shoot here in Chicago, and I had the honor of meeting Fife and being in the video and everything, and it was a whole, that shit was a whole experience within itself, like just, and then Fife dies like not long right after that, like literally I think maybe 6 months after that or some shit, and that shit was wild because he had just, in the video we did this whole like a hospital scene where because they both were in the same hospital at the same time, sit in the same beds right next to each other and didn't even know that you know were there. And then of course Dilla having history with a tribe with I think it was the Low End Theory, and so being there for that video shoot, and my guy Four Eyes was playing Dilla in the wheelchair with that break dancers there, it was just like a whole shit. Was able to sit down with Fife and talk to Fife for like 45 minutes, which was dope as fuck. Rest in peace, Fife. Fife Dog, Tribe Called Quest. And it's just a whole experience. And just even being there, and then they had somewhat of a live band. They had a live pianist there and a drummer there that were actually playing the song itself, but then they still they were playing along with the actual record when they were doing the video. And it was just mind-blowing because the beat was a Dilla beat. And to hear those guys play that shit back, like when they were doing sound checks before they even played the actual song, or before they played the instruments over the actual song, they were playing the fucking song. And it was just like, as a producer, I was sitting there going, what the fuck am I listening to? Like, I mean, people don't understand and I'm sure you get it, but people don't understand as a producer, when we listen to music, we don't listen to it the way other people listen to it. And there are these very subtle things that like you'll be listening, you're like, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? And I legit had that moment listening to your shit.
Oh man.
Like, because I might go through 50 fucking records before I hear that one little fucking tiny sound. It might be one sound that is a millisecond long that just throws everything into overdrive. And I'm listening to your shit, and like I said, there's certain songs that I know because I've actually sampled those motherfuckers, and I probably heard those songs within just sampling them and putting shit together. I probably listened to the motherfucker 300-400 times. And to hear somebody take other little pieces that I know, and as soon as I hear it, I go, motherfuck. Why
did not do that?
What the fuck?
What a compliment, you know?
When he found that shit, because I listened to this song a million fucking times and I didn't hear that until that very fucking moment.
Have you ever sampled and created something that just blew your fucking mind? Like you were like, I can't believe I did that shit.
Yeah, I've had a few moments like that. I mean, you know, sometimes you have like you make that shit like in the moment. You're like, oh, this is so sick, you know, and then like you finish it and it's even crazier, you know. So I get that. I mean, I feel like it takes just a lot to get me to that point now. You know what I mean? Like now, I love like I'll get a beat that flips me out all the time, but like I get like even more flipped out when I hear a beat that's like finished, or like someone sends me like a voice note, like a rapper. I'm like, oh man, this is gonna be crazy. Like that's when I go like, whoa man, we got one, you know. But yeah my beats.
Producer in the building, Kelsey Crittington. I don't know if you heard of him. This guy is fucking incredible. He's in the building. He's watching right now. Shout out to Kelsey.
Oh, shout out to him, man.
Yeah, have you heard of him, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I had him on the show like when we first started. I'm talking to him now because he's busy right now to get him back on the show, because obviously, you know, as we progress and get better at this, you know, obviously we want to have people back on the show that were doing it when we first fucking started, and we definitely having you back. Well, first of all, you ain't off the fucking hook.
No.
Yet, because I'm gonna be messaging you and shit, and we're gonna have some conversations. You know what I'm saying? Some real producer conversations. But I had a question. Yes.
So should we do the first producer edition?
You will be. No, Kelsey was the first producer we gave that right.
You guys to chill.
So,
Oh no. Yeah. I thought you were talking about the.
Oh no. Yeah.
You're a homie of the show.
Yes.
You're the second producer to be a homie of the show, and a homie of the show means the link that you have, you can use that anytime. I don't give a fuck who we are interviewing, who we are doing whatever with. You can pop in anytime you want.
that's dope as hell.
All that.
And take advantage. Take advantage. Seriously.
I love this, guys. I would love to pop on and talk shop. This is amazing.
Yeah, no, you're on the show. You have the right at this point in time. I don't give a fuck if we're interviewing Jesus Christ in the Holy Tabernacle Choir.
That'd be a hell of a conversation.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm tapping.
You want to pop in and tell Jesus, hey, you know, buddy in the back over there is singing a little off key.
It'd be a hell of a conversation.
Yeah.
I'll tap in.
Yeah. Shout out to you. You're a homie of the show now.
Peace.
It's over with.
I bet Jesus liked titty meat.
Come on, see?
I couldn't stop it. It was in there and it was
swirling.
swirling around, and I just couldn't. I couldn't.
She
I'm
can't
sorry.
help herself with
I
the porn.
apologize.
He would love that kid. He would
My
love
bad.
that.
Wait a minute, what the hell?
Yeah, come on.
I mean,
Come
but
on,
I think that's true though.
Now
Come on,
you-
let's do it. Let's
you
do this.
told
I'm
me-
interested.
okay. So we have a part of the show we do called "You Got to Chill."
You got to chill.
Put a little more bullet.
You got to chill.
Yeah,
You got to.
not too much. Not that one.
You got to chill.
Yeah,
You got to chill.
you got to chill. This is something we've been doing for a couple of weeks now. 10 simple questions. They have no real answer.
I can read them if you want.
You want to read all of them?
Fuck it.
All right. The answer, there is no right answer.
Yeah.
The answer is your answer. The answer is maybe your opinion. The answer is maybe your facts.
Yeah.
The answer is maybe your truth.
If the question has options and you want to expound on each one of the options as opposed to
By all
picking one,
means.
we don't give a shit.
And
Cool.
we respectfully respect everybody's answer that is given. And you may get some pushback on an answer.
That's
only,
true.
Only because
Naturally.
we're curious, because we're curious of the thought process.
Yes.
Not because we feel, slighted in any way by something you said, but only because we're curious to know how your brain is working.
Cool.
Well, usually we go back and forth, but today she's going to read all of them off, and I'm going to be the pushback, I believe.
Yes.
Okay,
I'm sure.
Good. I love being the pushback.
All right. You ready?
Go.
All right. What came first, the poet or the rapper?
Poet.
Why? Not everybody says the poet, but why?
Just the person whoever this person was thousands, millions of years ago had the inclination to write their thoughts down, and it being in a concise manner to them in an artful way. That's I think what happened.
Okay, but let's fast forward 1,000 years, and you have people that have never written a poem in their fucking life and become rappers and become famous. They have no knowledge of poetry. They don't even know who Shakespeare is.
I mean, some people can cook really good and they have no knowledge of fine
I'm talking
cuisine.
to him.
I'm just
I
saying.
think they have it and they don't know it. I think it's kind of like subconscious too.
Word.
You
I
have a
respect that.
way with organizing your thoughts in a manner that may not make sense to anybody else, but it's simple. So
Very respectable answer.
I think so. All right, this should be interesting. Who's more important, the DJ or the producer?
Now, I usually, at this point, hold on, before you say anything, usually, because we don't have producers answering this question, I normally say to them, be careful with your answer. You know what I'm saying? As a producer, I tell them, be careful with your answer.
yeah, I would say just out of respect the DJ, because
Jesus fucking Christ. Are you serious?
they started it all. You know what I mean? So like,
Okay, here's the problem with that. Because you can say the DJ started it all, and this is some serious shit right here, because I've been wanting to say this for a fucking minute. And to producer, the DJ doesn't get shit in his hands until the producer makes it.
Mm-hmm.
He does absolutely nothing.
Now,
But back in the day,
then,
the DJ was the producer for the
Exactly.
most part.
they were the spark, you know, because they were like, let me take this record, let me figure out how to loop it before you could even do that with modern equipment, and they jimmied it basically, and then just taking that drum loop, and that they were the producers, so they produced the party, you know what I mean? So, and then I feel like producers took that energy and channeled it into recording, and here we go, you know?
Yeah. I'm going to respectfully, because
Now
nobody ever agrees with my co-host, and the fact that you just agreed with her really pisses me the fuck off.
You are delusional on
It
Delusional
pisses me
Island.
the fuck off.
I don't know what
Go
your
ahead.
deal
What's
is.
your next question, please.
Rapper or MC?
I like MC just because like that again started it all. It's like the kind of like the host kind of concept, you know, like you're running the show, you everything goes through you, you set the vibe, you're the foundation. And now and that's kind of morphed into now you own the situation. You are the personality, you know, in front of the stage or the in front of the mic. So I think MC set the stage for a rapper. So go for them first.
That's something we never heard.
No.
MCs set the
Stage for a rapper. I
rappers.
like that.
You see, the thing about these questions are, as simple as they may seem,
It's the perspective.
it's the perspective.
Exactly, yeah.
You know, because when I wrote these questions out and I read them off to my wife, she's like, "You're fucking stupid. This shit is stupid."
These are thought provoking.
I mean, literally, people were giving me a little pushback until we started doing it. After the first person, they were like, "Oh shit." After the second person, it's like, "Oh shit." Now, people that watch our show that end up being on our show say to me, "I can't wait for the questions.
Love it.
Can't wait." Because it's really about perspective, and it's really interesting to hear different people's perspective. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No.
Agreed.
Record sales or touring?
Touring's the money. You know, I mean, now if you're in it in that regard, for those two things, touring's where like the real money's at. But like to me, like, you know, record sales is so classic because like if your record in this day and age sells like, I don't know, I'm just making a number up, 300, 400,000 in a week, it's like unheard of. That would be gotta be the best feeling ever. Like that's why I miss the old days of like Jay-Z drops the Blueprint or whatever, and it's like you got to go get the CD. You know, what
It's everywhere. It's posted.
Hey, I love record sales, but touring's where the money's at.
Okay.
Yeah, that's like the first solid. I wouldn't say solid answer, but you immediately out the gate says touring is where the money is.
Yeah.
And then you went into the explanation of the other part. That's the first time we ever heard that, and I think that's a great way to look at it.
Yeah.
Now I'm super excited and interested to hear your answer for this because I think now this one is my favorite question, and I'm really loving people's personal answers and whatnot.
We have had, I know which question it is, and we have had a multitude of some ridiculous, some really thought-provoking answers, some that make you really go, damn, okay.
Yeah. And with you saying that, you know, you have a love for the old school and the soulful, and it's personal, you know, you could tell like you're passionate about soulful music. So word of mouth or the internet?
Oh man. Well, so, you know, word of mouth is like, to me, the most like solid recommendation you could get in life. You know what I mean? Someone you trust giving you their word, that's gold, I think, for most people. Now the internet is given just like broadness, you know, so I would say I still think word of mouth is the best, you know, but word of mouth via the internet. Now we're talking.
Yeah. See, I think that's where the conversation, when we get into that question in particular, that's where the conversation kind of leads towards, because there are some people that say word of mouth. I mean, the internet is the new word of mouth.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And you can't survive without that type of word of mouth. But then there are the old school heads, and there are other people that have a different train of thought that says, I prefer somebody to tell me and look at me and give me that emotional feeling of how they felt about something. And that makes me want to go get it, as opposed to reading a text or reading a comment or something like that.
I think things are taking a turn because, like, I'm not to get off the subject, but I've noticed just looking at social media, ironically, that specifically people our age are experiencing things with their children that they experienced when they were their children's age, and they're able to personally bring them into that world.
Right.
Like Erykah Badu started touring again, and a lot of my high school friends are bringing their kids, and like some of the shit they're wearing, some of that jewelry, like you could tell it's like, oh, this is what this crystal means, all this kind of shit. I mean, you know, I think that shit is beautiful, and I guess it's a mixture of the two.
Right.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay.
Next question.
All right. Who's better, white rappers or black rappers?
Look at his face. Look at his face.
And this question strikes everybody the same way.
Black rappers, you know, that's just my.
Whoa! Hold the fucking phone.
I like a lot of white rappers. You know, but just like calling it out, or it's just huh?
I said the reason I said hold the phone.
Yeah.
The confidence, the confidence in which you said that and the way it rolled off your tongue was fucking. I don't even know how to put it into words. Like he meant that shit. You just immediately said black rappers. Why do you say that? Because we've heard a lot of different perspectives on that.
Yeah.
A lot. And you unequivocally out the gate black rappers. Why?
Well, that's just literally my opinion based on being, you know, so around it all my life, you know, and ingesting every corner, top to bottom, every potential type of style of this genre, I've laid my ears on. You know what I mean? So call it how you want. You know, I mean, I'm no expert. I'm a fan. I said it over and over.
Right.
But to me, over the course of my, you know, life, just the folks that I've been kind of more enamored with and more inspired by have been black, you know? So I think, you know, I think it's also like a space and time thing. You know what I mean? Because in my point of view, like people will die on this hill, but like in his prime, Eminem made as good a 3-album run as anybody that's ever lived. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it just depends. I think when he was in that zone, in that era, and I grew up, I was like 14 when he was hot. So, I mean, that like literally screwed my mind up, you know, because I was like a rebellious time. But like, you know, he was the best in the world at that point, you know? So it's just, I think right now, unequivocally, there's no, to me, white rapper that's like, holy shit, like this is, you know, a top 5, you know, just if we're going by skin color, that's just how I feel.
Right. Yeah. And that's respectable. But would you go as far to say that because of the nature of hip hop and how it's been evolving and everything, that we will be seeing white rappers that are hitting on the same cylinders, so to speak, as black rappers?
Yeah, I mean, I think technically anything's possible.
Right.
Because there's some fucking talented people out there. I mean,
Yeah.
If you look at it too, like, you know,
Millie's.
anything can happen. You
Hell
know?
yeah.
Yeah, Millie's is dope.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many, you know, and I think a lot of people too also, you know, you can always, people of really fans of the genre, like of music, can look past color. Sometimes you may not even know, you know, if you're hearing it for the first time, you know,
Right.
what it looks like. And that's kind of like the melting pot, you know, that I love. You know what I mean? So
Right.
kind of like the fun of it. But yeah, I think technically just out of straight skill, you could get, you know, we could see an Indian guy, you know, an Asian guy or gal, whoever could end up being like the quote unquote best.
Right.
It could-
I agree.
Yeah.
Next question.
Fuck.
Good answer, man.
I love that. Is it really possible to have a top 5 rappers list?
I don't think so.
Word.
I mean, I get stressed even thinking about it, you know. I mean, just because it's like, if you know what's like lives in my head rent free is when Drake said, you know, it's an opinionated sport. Like, I mean, come on, he says a lot of corny shit, but like that is such a fucking zinger right there, you know. That's money. Because you know, I may not like the beat over somebody that's like, you know, a classic rapper, you know what I mean? It's opinion. Yeah. So I think that gets really, really construed in the whole thing, and people get afraid to be like disagree with people or like, you know what I mean? Like people get like clammy about like being honest, you know?
Yeah.
That's my straight opinion is like, I don't think you get in the top 5. If you do, like all kudos to that. But
Right. And the craziest part about that is we have all of these quote unquote official publications or whatever that put out these top 20, these top 10s, the top 5 rappers of all time. And a lot of times I'll look at those lists and I'll be like, get the fuck out of here.
I
Like,
hate them. Hate
are you
those lists.
kidding me? Like, you can't put this dude over this dude. Like what? Like, even from a technical standpoint, it you know, from a person who's been in music and who has done things,
Right.
I'm still a fan as well. So even looking at it from a fan standpoint, and then from a professional standpoint, it's like, you got to be fucking kidding me.
No, it's a joke.
They
don't want to make the same article, you know what I mean? So it's like, even if they believe this is their top 5, like they won't get clicks if they write the same article. You know what I mean?
Very true.
Shit.
It's all clickbait at the end of the day. So next.
West Coast gangster rap or East Coast?
No, I don't even want to hear his answer. Next, because he already fucked up when we started the show.
I'm gonna tell you, I'm East Coast through and through, but
he surprised me. Holy shit! Because he came on talking about West Coast gangster music. I thought for sure he was gonna
just because you know what it was.
The beauty in that was that he understood the question.
Just to clarify, it was really the sound of Dre's albums that I knew before I was even into the shit. I was like, this sounds different, and the sound and the production and the quality of it, the mastering, stuck out to me. So that's what I mean as far as like the West Coast shit really like kind of turned the light on, and then you know really the East. I mean, being from New York, that's my bread and butter, and then a lot of Chicago too. So, but way more East Coast and than the West Coast.
I say it all the time to people. They don't because being an industry person, they don't understand what marketing and packaging is. So when you look at a standpoint of NWA, that shit was marketing and packaged. You know what I'm saying? I was talking to my son and I was like, you know, they didn't wear gang clothes. They didn't wear red or blue. They wore the generic version.
Mm-hmm.
They wore black. You know what I'm saying? They wore it's the same attire, but so this was all packaged and with a nice bow on the top and pushed in and shoved down people's throat as this is gangster music. And so the part of that question is because people don't understand New York gangster music has been out since day one, but it's never been packaged and pushed like that.
Nope.
There's no disrespect when I say those things about West Coast music. I love West Coast music. I was born in the West Coast.
But why do you think that is though? Why do you think they didn't give the East Coast the exact same zhuzh?
Because it was at a time where we didn't have the internet. We didn't have shit like this right now. And so people had never seen California. They've only heard like bits and pieces of a cousin that went there or something, and they're like, "Oh, this is crazy." They wear red and blue out there, and they're called Crips and Bloods.
I like how you said that.
So that they didn't know.
You know,
yeah. So they didn't know. So here they got this marketing genius. Let's show them what California is all about. Let's show them California gangsterism, which the world had never really seen, and they packaged it geniusly, beautifully, put a bow on it, and shoved it down everybody's throat. And so when you think of West Coast music, the first thing you say is gangster music. Although West Coast had been doing that style of music since day one as well, but nobody heard it. You know what I'm saying? So it's all about how you package shit. And I say that all the time when we talk about beats by the pound and shit. I talk a lot of shit, but I think people miss the whole point of how industry packages things, shoves them down your throat, and you don't know you're consuming it while you're consuming it. You know what I'm saying? I used to tell people all the time when Hammer first came out, MC Hammer, they didn't know MC Hammer was a gangster rapper before he was anything anyways, but people from the Bay knew it. But the thing about that is everybody hated Hammer back then, but he was selling millions and millions of records. You can say you hate him, but why the fuck do you know every fucking word? I used to say this, why the fuck do you know every word to his song? And they had no answer. I don't know. Yeah, you don't. I know. Because it's shoved down your throat. You hear the song, you go, fuck, you change the channel back in the day, and it's on another fucking channel.
5 minutes later.
Playing at the same time.
And funny you mentioned him because there's 2 songs of his that I like, and neither of them are his mainstream fucking songs.
Right.
But all that goddamn shit that was everywhere. Like I was pretty young, but
you know the words.
yeah, but it's like
That's the thing.
shit. That
So
shit was
it's
everywhere.
it's the packaging and shit that I really try to get across to
Cartoons
people. And
and
it's
shit.
no slight to West Coast gangsterism. I love the shit. I was involved with the shit. I know a lot of people from back in the day that were doing a ton of music and everything that are still doing music to this day. I was involved in a lot of shit on the West Coast. So I get it. And I just try to bring it a little bit more light to how that old machine that was the industry, because it's really kind of fading out, but people don't know that they still got they figured it out really quick, and they still got a chokehold on the game right now. But there are a few that know and understand how the game works now, and they're able to, make millions and millions of dollars, and other people are going to learn from that. But anyway, I digress. Go ahead.
Okay,
bad.
it's all good. CDs, tapes, vinyl, or streaming?
I mean, I grew up on CDs, so I love those always and forever. But like, I'm a vinyl and cassette head. Just like touching the music in that form is special to me, so especially on vinyl. So I'll go vinyl, cassette, CD in that order.
Well, what about you? You forgot about streaming. That was the other one.
Okay, so streaming, I don't want to completely ignore, which I did, but streaming's allowed, people like me to get my music out to the world. So I kind of fuck with it. Honestly, I think in the beginning I was like, whatever, but so were a lot of people. But I feel like they figured out the model where it's affordable per month to have millions of songs at your fingertips. And like, I'm not going to lie, as busy people, we're on the go. Like, we all love that. You know what I mean? So streaming's dope, but those top three are just like iconic to me.
That's what's up. I can respect that.
Yeah.
I love that answer.
Who gets a house first, you or your parents?
Me.
Wait, whoa. I just caught on something that she just said, and this might be racial.
It is. I think I did. I swear to God. The question reads, who gets a house first, yourself or your mom? What I always say, I've said this every motherfucking time, except just now. Who gets the house first, yourself, your mom, or your dad, or parents? You. I said yourself or your parents.
You said your parents, so she automatically assumed both your parents was in the fucking house and fuck everybody else that grew up in a single home with no daddy and all that shit. That's fucked up.
That's funny.
I caught that shit immediately. I'm like, did she just say
I didn't even catch
who
that.
gets the house first, parents?
I didn't even catch
As soon as I said
Holy
this,
shit.
I literally said this out of my head. Did you just fucking say parents?
She just fucking racially profiled your ass.
I'm sorry.
So what's the question again? I got sidetracked. It's hysterical.
Who gets the house first, you or your mom?
Oh my God.
That's the original question, and it's really not written like mom. I think it's written mama.
I mean, my mom's straight. She's good. I got a kid. I got a baby and another one coming. So I'm taking this one. So
Yeah, of course.
Right.
she's straight. She's good.
My answer's always been I get the house first. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Because if I bought my mom a house, rest in peace, I would be over there every day fixing some shit, and I'm not with that. You know what I'm saying? And other people have said, well, if you got money to buy our house, then you got money to pay for somebody to go fix it. And I'm like, my mom would not stand for that. She'd still want me over there fixing it.
Exactly.
So yeah.
Yeah.
Guys, apparently I'm racist today. I'm sorry.
Fuck yeah, you are.
My bad.
We're just fucking with you, but I thought it was very interesting that she said
That's
parents.
funny.
She just by she don't know. Maybe he don't have a daddy.
Oh my God.
Maybe he ain't never met his daddy.
that
You
is-
don't know that shit. But
sorry.
you just threw that in there like you looked at him and said, "Yep, he's got parents."
Yep.
That's fucked up.
I'm sorry. My bad.
I'm gonna apologize to all the people of color out there.
Yeah.
That she just fucking blatantly threw y'all under the bus.
I'm trying to
and
get my-
automatically assume that you motherfuckers ain't got no parents in the house.
I'm going to do better going
I'm sure
forward.
the fuck hope you do, because I'm a person of color and I have a wife
And
and
I'm
kids,
now-
and I'm in the fucking house.
This question, I'm changing it. It's going to be parents for everyone because we all have a shot
Parents.
at having both
but
parents
the way
at home.
you said that, you just automatically assumed that he got both his.
I
peoples.
tweaked the shit. It was subconscious. I'm
You
sorry.
kept it organic. You kept it organic. I mean,
That wasn't organic. That was racial profiling. Okay, that was motherfucking racial profiling
Oh
at its,
my
at its
God.
finest. She needs to be in a uniform patrolling the streets.
Yeah, I'm sorry. My bad. Yes,
Go ahead.
I'm
Is
definitely
we have the bonus question.
12 down on that one. Would you rather have skill or fame?
skill all the time.
all day.
Because fuck fame. I mean, there's so many like like I'm not gonna lie, like I like the glamorous side of this shit too. It's a lot of fun. I like fashion, I like style, I like all that stuff. But like you can have all that and not be famous and just like be killing it, you know? So like I don't need any of that. I like the skill. I just enjoy what I do, and if I can make money doing that, it's the ultimate dream.
Yeah, we had someone before, we asked them that question, and they were like, fame, because I this and that. And I'm like, skill beats fame all day, every day.
Yeah.
Because if you have the skill, you can choose to be famous or choose to lay in the cut and still get the money.
Word.
Yeah.
Because the skill is always going to pay the bills all day, every day before. Because the fame can come and go.
Yeah. Yep.
The fame can come and go, especially nowadays, man. It ain't even 15 minutes of fame like the great Andy Warhol said. It's more like 3 minutes of fame. And it seems like everybody's getting it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So
Right.
it really devalues being famous. You know what I'm saying? So
Exactly.
fuck fame.
Yeah.
We can see through that, you know. I think
Yeah.
real people can see that.
Yeah, absolutely. Are we at the bonus question?
We did already. We just asked it.
Oh, that was the bonus question?
Yeah. But I have a introspective question, I guess.
Racist.
When you were a kid, I know
Did
you
you have both of
mentioned
your parents in the house? That's what she's
shut
gonna
the hell
ask
up.
you.
I know you mentioned that you sang in the choir in school, but like, did you always want to be a producer, or you just wanted a career in the arts in general?
I don't know if I knew like specifically yet what I wanted to do. Like, you know, I want to make music the way I'm doing now. I don't know if it was that specific yet, but I just knew I wanted to make money doing creative stuff. Yeah, for sure. Like I wanted to take something that I made in my house and send it to somebody or give it to somebody on a CD, and like they're like, I want to buy that. You know what I mean? And just like, yeah, that is definitely, yeah.
I have a question for you, and I need you to rock with me on this question.
Wait, hold on one second, because it was a two-parter.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
What you envisioned when you were a kid, where you just knew, I just want to be creative in some kind of way. Are you what you envisioned?
Say that
The
again.
person you are now, or the artist that you are now? Are you what you envisioned when you were a kid?
I honestly am. I feel like I am. Because I just wanted to be kind of known for like doing the sound that I liked. You know what I mean? Like I was perfectly cool with like making stuff that like, you know, people liked, but like ideally I wanted to be recognized for what I love. You know, like everything I make, I genuinely love it. Like I wouldn't even, nobody would hear it. Chris, you guys, nobody would hear it if I didn't love it. So like I just make it out of love. So yeah. And what was the question again? I got a little sidetracked.
No, that was it. I was just asking it basically if you are the manifestation of what you envisioned when you were a kid.
Yeah, I do. I feel like, you know, especially as the years go on in these recent years, because there's been like such a great creative explosion like we've had. I really feel like I'm kind of growing into what I saw, you know, what I wanted to be. Yeah, it's a great question.
Nice. Now I got a question, but I need you to rock with me. All right.
Oh yeah.
You're in the studio, right? I'm an A&R from a record label. Okay, you ready?
Oh shit, what's your name?
You ready? How you doing there, sir? I'm Derek Dickenstein from Yuki Rec Records. And I got $1 million right here, sir. I'm ready to hand it to you right now if you just sign on this dotted line. One thing, though, we're going to need you to wear a pink cowboy hat, pink jacket with pink rhinestone cowboy boots, and dance a jig for me. 10 million. Here you go, sir.
It's like a little Nas X, right?
Something like that.
Would I do that?
Yeah. Would you take the bag?
No.
Come
I
on,
don't-
sir. Take the bag. $10 million. Life-changing.
I couldn't do it. Now, like not for 10.
Oh, so you do have a price.
What's your price?
Most people do.
We get a Rec Records.
Within
We
reason.
got money.
I got a price.
What's the name of that record company?
Within
again?
reason. I mean, look,
Right.
if it's just what you're describing, where it's like you wear his goofy outfit and you make like a crazy record like he did, I mean, I'm good with that. I don't, you know, but I wouldn't, you know, everybody's got a price, but
Right.
yeah,
Yeah. 15,
no,
20,
100 probably.
100 million.
God damn.
Yeah, 'cause here's the thing. Here's the
I
thing.
erased all of that out of my mind for 100
It would
million.
have to be enough money to be like my kids are good type
Right.
thing, because I care about this music shit too much. So as long as like 10 generations after me was good, that, you know, we're talking now, and I could still like be retired and work on whatever I want. But I mean, like, I'm not just saying this, like, you know, the love and the dignity of all this shit. Like, I care about this shit. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I care fucking a lot about hip hop. So that's why I say it would take a fuck ton of money.
We've for the most part, a lot of people answer that question the same way.
Yeah.
We've had a few people that said, like, even Chris Crack, his answer was really kind of dope. He said, as long as he had creative control.
I knew you were gonna say that because he would
Yeah.
make it dope somehow. Yeah,
Yeah, that's what he said. He said, I'd make wearing that shit dope as fuck.
he would. He would.
And on that same note, somebody had also heard his answer to that and says that there is no price to that. There's no way to make that dope because at the end of the day, you're still dancing the jig.
I highly respect that answer.
Yeah, I respected it too. We were like blown away by the answer, but also too, I don't know if you've heard of Pugs Adams, but he's like that guy here, and a good friend of Chris's actually had a very similar answer as well. But we're also talking about these two people are very different as far as artists are concerned when we talk about real true creative type people. So like a real true creative, I get that answer.
Yeah.
But I also get the answer from the other side that says, well, there's integrity involved, there's dignity involved, and I'm not going to bend like that. I'm not going to sell myself for money. But the truth of the matter is, man, I firmly believe everybody's got a price because I feel like I wouldn't do it.
Yeah, I mean,
And $100 million is a lot of motherfucking money. I can do some real fucking shit with $100 million.
That could truly be generational wealth. I mean,
yeah.
It'd take a lot to fuck that up.
I mean, $10 million, I could blow that on a car.
And I think you can afford,
you know what I'm saying?
You can probably afford a crackhead, and if you got $100 million. So, you know,
Yeah.
I mean, it's a good setup.
Yeah, it is. You know, you hear it all the time. Somebody wins the Powerball, they got $58 million, and a year later they're broke as shit.
I don't know if you ever watched that show about those people that fuck that money up. That shit is depressing.
Oh yeah, I love it. I wallow in it. I learn from that shit. You know what I'm saying? You got to learn from it. Yeah. Any questions for this man? Because I might have a couple more brewing.
Go ahead.
Shoot.
This is the other thing that I hate about having a co-host like this, because she likes to pass the buck. But then when the show is over, she's high-fiving herself saying, I fucking did that shit. I rocked that shit. I made that shit happen. Thank you.
You can run the tape back too, and you can always confirm these things. You know.
I got a question. For you.
Uh-oh, the engineer.
Yes, sir.
What would you tell your younger self if you had to give your younger self?
Yeah, I might want to speak up.
14, 15 years old. What advice would you give your younger self?
I would say that's a great one. I would say go to fucking music school.
Ooh, God.
Don't go to fucking school for what you did. And I didn't really go anything crazy, but like what I should have done was go to so I'm from New York, so like we have the state schools. I went to SUNY Binghamton, shout out to them. And there's also another SUNY school called Purchase, and that's where they had like a crazy music program and a bunch of like pretty dope people that came out of there. Specific, like a producer for J. Cole, who's currently with him, is from there. So I just should have done that, and I think that would have been like, instead of starting on my own completely and being 2,000% self-taught, I would have had a lot of professional instruction as well. So, that's what I would have told myself.
Yeah. Instead of figuring out music theory for yourself, you would have had a huge head start. Because I knew you were going to answer that question like that. That's for some reason, because I want to say back in '92, I got accepted into Berklee School of Music, and
holy shit,
I fucking declined it. And that's one of the things that I really kicked myself in the ass for all the time. I think about it all the time. When I got accepted, I was happy and I was bragging about the shit, but I didn't. I didn't follow through.
That's some shit that you would do.
Yeah,
that's a feather in your cap, though, too, because like I know what you mean, but like that does a lot for you, your confidence too.
Oh yeah, for sure. But I mean, I was confident as fuck after I got that letter. Back when mail meant something.
Put that shit on a shirt. And
But the fact that I didn't do anything after receiving that scholarship and being accepted is something that, like, man, I fucking really regret. Like, as far as my journey in music, because the things I could have learned, the elbows I would have been rubbing with, you know what I'm saying, would have been you can't put a price on that shit. You just can't put a price on it.
Oh
know?
yeah, I mean, I kind of agree. Like on just some funny shit. Like I tell my wife, like if I was doing this now, like in college, like I'd be fucking lit. I'd have been popular. I've been
Oh,
lit.
yeah. I mean, I've had a couple of really great runs, but while those things were happening, I was so in the moment of doing a bunch of other shit.
Yeah.
That you especially being young, you're just like, oh shit, I'll make that money again tomorrow, or I can do this in my fucking sleep. You know, the confidence is like so ridiculously fucking delirious and delusional that, you know what I mean? It isn't until after all of that shit stops and you're looking around and you go, what the fuck did I just fuck off? You know what I'm saying? I mean, literally fucked off millions, and then, you know, I wake up one day and it's like I don't even have a shirt to show for that shit. Legit, like not even a shirt or a pair of shoes.
Damn.
You know, and it can happen that way, like just that fucking fast. Would you say where you're at now in music and everything that you're doing, that excuse me, that that you're able to see these things, these hurdles, these bumps in the roads before they fucking happen?
It's specifically what kind of bump where you
squandering money,
yeah,
fucking off record deals, you know what I'm saying, like just things that come with being in the industry.
I think it's yeah, to your point, it's you know, it's a field of landmines, you know what I mean? And that can mean different things, and it's not all negative, because you know, I think you have to just kind of move in the way that feels good to you, you know what I mean? And I think that if that's going major, if you have the opportunity to do that, cool. If it's going independent, just staying only working for yourself, that's the best, you know?
Right.
I think it's hard to move like authentically and like, you know, truly like with love for what you do, and, and always be worried about the shit. Now you have to keep your eyes out, you know?
Yeah.
I think that you just kind of have to be smart and take risks that make sense to you, you know? And then you know, just on that note, my advice would be try to do as much shit yourself as you can.
Right. And that alludes me to my next question, or kind of a statement question. We were talking about, you know, you could have went to this school, that school, whatever, and all, and like myself as well. I, to a very high degree, feel like me learning all of this shit on my own has so much value to me. Like it has a ton of value to me. Like, because there's a lot of people that'll come around me and they're like, man, how do you know this shit? How do you know what I mean? And the value of me taking the time, really focusing and really getting down and really learning how to do shit and putting things together and being a creative person, all that kind of shit. I also feel like there is no school that can fucking teach that. Do you have that feeling as well?
I do. I think with something like this, like music, at least, like, you know, you have to either be intimately showed it, you know what I mean? Like the workings of a machine, or why this record is something to listen for. It's like you have to teach someone that, you know what I mean? Like it's so like esoteric, I feel like, you know, like it's just so like, is it even there? I don't know how to explain that, you know? So
yeah, I get it.
Yeah. So I think that you just, when you know what you're looking for, and I think just being a fan kind of set that roadmap. Like, okay, I don't know what this is, but I know what it sounds like. I know it sounds good to me. That is really it.
That takes us back to the ear. You can't teach somebody the ear, though. You can't teach that. No. You can't teach that. That's one thing.
I laugh at the whole, like, you know, sampling is stealing or whatever. Like,
yeah,
those people are. It's the classic. Like, the loudest in the room is like, they can't do it. They don't know what to do.
Yeah. If you sit down, let's put this out there. Look, if you sit down somebody who is classically trained in music, but doesn't have a clue about sampling and makes that fucking statement, and then you sit them down and say, okay, since it's so simple to you and it's stealing, I want you to take this record and show me that you can make something completely different, completely new and fresh.
Yeah.
The same feel that fucking record has.
Right.
Show me. You'll be hard pressed to find somebody that could do that.
Exactly, because usually, and I don't want to speak because people are different, but like usually when you have someone who's that like that, mindset wise, is also a musician. They're like typically like too rule oriented. You know what I mean? And that's fine, and that makes perfect music. But like, I don't like perfect music. I like music that feels good to me. You know what I mean? You can't. You don't have my swing because you're not double A. You're not.
Right.
You know what I mean? So like.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I get it. Like that's just like even I you know, there are musicians now, classically trained musicians now that see that a turntable is an instrument. You know what I'm saying? When they see what DJs do to them and how they make the sounds different and how they scratch and how they actually have now you can buy sheet music on scratching. Did you know that?
Awesome. I didn't know that.
Yeah. So they actually made up like the notes and type of shit for each different type of scratch. And so they're able to make sheet music for certain scratches. You know, it's like if you want to find like the actual sheet music for a scratch or on a record that like Premiere did or something, you can get the sheet music. And if you understand the sheet music, just like reading music, if you understand it, then you know exactly how to do it, which is wild. And they came out with that, I want to say maybe 4 or 5 years ago.
That is interesting as fuck.
Yeah, you didn't know that? I can't believe you didn't know that.
I didn't know that, and I met Premiere actually. That's
Come
crazy.
on, Ray, you gotta do your homework, bro.
I'm not really like super heavy into the DJ side. I like it, but really just more like playing beats. Yeah,
I'm just fucking with you, but that is a real thing, though. That is a real thing.
That's super dope.
Yeah, it's dope. It just shows the elevation and the growth of hip hop, and also too, it shows the mainstream, so to speak, finally acknowledging the fact that this is an art form, that everything about it that we do is an art form. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, that's dope. Hey, listen, we went a little bit far and beyond our normal time, but it's been really great. I want to say to you before we end this and everything, tell everybody how to find your music, how they can listen to it, how they can purchase it, talk about your merch, talk about everything that you need to talk about right now. Let these people know how to find you, find your shit, buy your shit, purchase your shit. But one thing I need to tell you and ask you to do, we got some real stupid people out there, so say that shit real slow so they can understand what the fuck you're saying.
Bet.
And you might have to spell it out.
And you might have to spell that shit out because we got some illegitimate children out here and fucking you know what I'm saying? Some motherfucking God damn it! Just say the shit slow so a motherfucker can understand.
I got you. Yeah. I appreciate you guys giving me the platform. You know, I mean, it's cool to grow with you guys and just be in the cut and you know chop it up. So that I'm all about that.
Word.
But yeah, for finding my stuff, I'm on all the streaming platforms. DBL -A, double A. You can find me there. On Instagram, that's really where I'm most active. It's at Beats by A. Beats with a Z by A. So
you want to spell that out?
Yep. BEATZ BYA. Beats by A.
There you go.
Yeah, and then you know on Instagram, like I have my link in the bio. You can get everything is there, like links to my streaming, links to all of my stuff with Chris. You know, I'm actually I'm dropping. I appreciate the platform because I'm dropping a new album soon, very shortly. Hopefully at the end of July. I'll have to keep you guys locked, but yeah, it's going to be fully produced and written by myself. It's kind of like
nice.
I dabble on the side, so I write.
You would not be a great producer if you made beats and you didn't say to yourself "fuck," and then you're pacing around the room rapping to that motherfucker.
Yeah, I got some shit. I'm excited to drop it. So
Makes
that's gonna be new album's gonna be called "No Man Is a Failure Who Has Friends," and I make actually my own merch too. So I make T-shirts. And yeah, it's gonna be. This is the name of the album.
No man,
a failure who has friends.
No man is a failure who has friends. Man, I like that. That is a great quote.
Yeah, so I'm gonna be selling.
Is that a personal quote?
What's that?
Is that a personal quote?
No, so it's actually from the ending of "It's a Wonderful Life," the movie.
Oh, okay.
And the character who's like, you know, just really, you know, has like a really tough, depressed life, and he's just going through a lot of shit. He gets this note at the end, and when he reads it, it has that quote. and just fucks me up, and is a special quote because it means so much.
Yeah.
Literally, but non-literally. I think that there's a lot of meaning in there. And your friends can be not even, it doesn't have to be people, whatever that means to you, community, if you will.
Yeah.
So, and that can mean a lot of things. So yeah, I make my own merch, and I'm going to be eventually selling a whole line of clothes that I flip Carhartt t-shirts actually,
Nice.
with the designs that I make. So
Yeah.
yeah, all
Good
that
quality.
stuff. Yeah.
I can't shout them out unless they're going to give me a bag, but good quality.
Yes, exactly. And that's why I fuck with it. It's like my favorite stuff. And that's why, use it as my kind of art canvas, because it's great quality stuff. Yeah.
Nice. So anyways, that has been fucking amazing.
Yes.
I love picking your brain, man. I think you're an amazing artist. I actually seriously look forward to getting to know you and, chopping it up with you more on a personal level, on a artist level as well. Maybe chop some ideas up together. Maybe even join forces and shit and see what we can come up with, because I think it would be very, very interesting.
That would be disgusting.
With
oh my god,
the style that I have, and the style that you have, merging the two and coming up with some really crazy shit. I think we could probably move some mountains. I really, really honestly do. I think very highly of myself, but not in the cockiness, but because my mother always told me something growing up. She said, if I don't believe in myself, nobody will. So
thank you for saying that. I just hope that's my quote right there. And for anybody listening, if you want to be in music or anything that you're kind of like your own boss, even if you don't believe it, fake it.
Yeah. No one's going to believe in you if you don't believe yourself. So,
but if you believe it, more importantly, I don't want to get a message. Really, really show that.
Yeah.
And be confident. And, at times be cocky, talk your shit, and fucking do your shit.
Yeah. And I actually had a question earlier, and I'm going to say it real quick before we bounce out of here, because I always find it really funny and interesting that I'll make a beat and I'll go, fuck, I mean, I like it, but it's kind of trash to me. And next thing you know, everybody's like, what the fuck is that?
In a good way, right?
They love it. And I'm just like, what? That took me all of like 5 seconds to make. And I was sitting here. I was like listening to the shit, trying to like it. And it just like, everybody's like, what the fuck? Like, this shit is crazy. This is the best shit I ever fucking, this is the best shit you ever did. And I'm like offended. Like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
Does that ever happen?
That does. I mean, I think, to a lesser extent, like, I'll just use an example, like Therapy, that beat, like, I liked it, but like, I wasn't like, I had no idea it would become what it did,
Yeah.
So I think that's a good example of that, just like, it's ill. And like now, especially, I know it's ill, it was the perfect canvas for that song. But at the time, creating is such an individual thing. It's such an isolated thing, I mean, it's around a lot of people. So yeah, I think there is that does happen, a lot, honestly. Because I like so much shit that like my homies don't flip out about the same way. And I'm like, yo, hold on.
That's the flip side of that. The flip side is that was when you make something, you go, fucking shit, this is crazy. And everybody goes, eh.
Yeah. But it's ill. And then versa that is like, it does happen. Yeah, it does happen. Because you just don't know what's going to catch someone's ear. And
it's very true.
That's the beauty of it. They hear it a certain way.
And then the other flip side of that is the one that you really hated, and you're like, why in the fuck did they like it? You don't listen to it. You come back and listen to it, and then you hear the brilliance of it.
I love that.
Then you go, oh, I get it now. Oh shit, how did I miss that? You know what I'm saying? That's dope.
Or just like it's a confirmation, like, damn, like I'm fire. You know what I mean?
For sure. Yeah. Without a doubt.
Good feeling, yeah.
With all that being said, man, this has been a true honor. Like I said, it's been very informative, funny, entertaining.
Great conversation.
Whole ball of wax. You're that motherfucking guy. Don't let nobody tell you different. You already know it anyways. You know what I'm saying? This is all right. Don't hang up because I want to holler at you right quick. This has been a wrap. Hey, where's my shit at? There it is.
The obnoxious octave.
Yeah, the obnoxious octave. Let's go. This has been a wrap, baby. A wrap, baby. You already know what it is, boys. I keep telling man, every Friday at 8:30, we're gonna be back at it like crack addicts, like a motherfucker. When I say 8:30, you know what that is? That's Chicago time, dummy. Yeah. I'll see you next Friday, motherfuckers. We out this bitch.
Check it out.